everybody. We are here with another episode of the Retail Price Talk. With me, I have Antonio Arias Robinson. So, Antonio, I will let you do your own introduction. Please tell us about who you are and what you're going to tell us about today.
Thank you, Kiran. My name is Antonio. I've been doing IT consulting for the last 25 years in Mexico and Latin America. I have the privilege of working with a lot of companies, and we're here to talk about retail in Mexico and India and how we can leverage what has been happening in India. It's a lot of leapfrogging happening there. And here in Mexico, we are gaining speed, we are growing, but there's a lot of things we can talk about and learn.
Absolutely. So now, I travel to Mexico very often. As you guys know, Rapid Pricer is based in Amsterdam. We do a lot of work with European retail, and with Antonio, it's been more than a decade now. We've worked with a lot of situations where retailers are looking to solve their problems using analytics and artificial intelligence. And Antonio is very close to the ground of how the retailers are experiencing this pain. And having grown up in India and having done a lot of business in India, I understand some of the successes, some of the challenges in India also as well. So in this episode, we will try to connect the dots between what's happening in different points of the world and then try to give you some perspective on what's happening and what might be possible in the future. Antonio, thank you. You want to start with how you've seen the retail in Mexico has evolved in the recent years, and maybe a little bit about what challenges are there for retail CPG and what you see in the future.
Yes, retail, after the pandemic, took a drastic turn in growing the e-commerce side of the business. So growth has been, in the last couple of years, really accelerated. And in particular, the e-commerce space has been growing at double digits each year for the last 2-3 years. So there are a lot of large retailers which are growing and expanding all across Mexico, even in different countries. So you see a lot of mature companies actually doing investment, but a lot of new companies coming into the market. So the growth has been really interesting, around maybe 7-8% per year, the compounded annual growth, which is aggressive in retail in particular.
Absolutely.
And there are large companies like Walmart here that one of their largest markets growing is Mexico, actually. So yeah, a lot of competition, but a lot of investment and a lot of opportunities for all the retail companies.
Perfect. In my experience, Antonio, we've done this together with a few retailers, convenience store retailers. What I've seen is, on the one end, there are retailers, especially coming out of Monterrey, who are very efficient, who know what things needs to be done, and they're investing ahead and really capitalizing on technology and what it can provide. On the other end, I see many retailers who really are still operating how they've done over many generations. How big is this divide? Is this changing?
Well, actually, there's been a lot of investment in transactional systems.
Okay.
So there are like all the large companies have strong infrastructure. I'm talking about the ERP systems or maybe their CRM merchandising systems. The integration's still pain, yeah. And there's a lot of data available that's not being used.
Okay.
So I really believe that the next step in the evolution of retail and where all the values is going to be extracted from is taking good care of that data and using that data to drive more sales, more profitable sales, and more loyalty from their customers. So it's a lot of information that's getting lost because it's not integrated correctly.
Okay.
So that's what I say. A lot of efforts in trying to use the data, but a lot of Excel sheets, manual processes, even all processes that are being automated and then they're not being transformed correctly.
Understood.
So there's a huge opportunity.
Agree. It's kind of like the evolution we've seen in many parts of the world. It's once you have the ready-made vegetables diced up, I like to use the example of a kitchen, it becomes easier to cook new dishes, to make artificial intelligence work on the data. But it's important the platform should have live data on which we can build these algorithms. But I believe many parts of Mexico is getting there. I would like to use this opportunity to bring some parallel to what I've seen in another developing country, which is India. In fact, India is from a GDP perspective, probably less in GDP per capita compared to Mexico. But there is a lot of changes I see in kind of bypassing the technology evolution. To give you an example of grocery, right? There is an app I use in India. It's called Blinkit when I go there. And you can order groceries in 10 minutes. And they don't charge you a delivery fee as long as it is more than like $10 per order. And it is very fresh. And they charge less than what it would cost to go to a supermarket. So it's completely revolutionized how many people are doing their shopping. And even when it comes to pharmaceutical chains, I can go to meet a doctor and my prescription is automatically sent to a pharmaceutical company which delivers it within 2 hours for no cost, right? And it is cheaper. That really has transformed how people shop, and it is doing it more and more, and from the big cities to going to the smaller cities. I believe this is a change which is waiting to happen in Mexico. Do you see this as a potential for Mexico market?
Well, without a doubt, because right now, even though e-commerce has exploded the last couple of years, still around 10%, 15% of transactions in retail in general. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there and a lot of inefficiencies because the new generations are looking for an easy way to buy. They don't have the time or the want to go to a store and do all the shopping. And so if that's happening in India, which logistically I believe is more complex than what we see in Mexico, then that's maybe one of the things that if you're watching this, you should be thinking about how can we accelerate and bypass these new companies, because I understand these are new companies.
Absolutely.
Not the traditional retailers that
could be like investments of a big conglomerate like Reliance investing or buying over a small company which has demonstrated success with this new business model. But you're not seeing the same traditional stores changing overnight to do this model. You know, it is a completely new division taking over the market, which like you said, is rightly placed for Mexico. I also agree. The cost structure, the cost of labor is cheaper here compared to Europe or Mexico. The logistics is well built. There might be an opportunity both from an Indian innovation coming to Mexico or from a Mexican opportunity being, made better because of what's happening around the world.
Without a doubt, and we need to learn from what happened in India. There's another example of what happened with the cell phones.
Yeah.
You bypass the whole traditional phone line kind of process, and now and then cell phones just exploded. Well, there's examples of how that can happen here, and if you have the right vision, and you actually have examples of things happening in other countries that can be taken advantage of here. So
absolutely, I agree. And coming to the topic of artificial intelligence, and Antonio, I must tell you, has become a pro at using artificial intelligence, not only in what he does with his business, but also for his own work. He's like having 10 assistants, not real physical people that also he does, but on his phone, where he uses artificial intelligence. Do you see that also playing a role?
Yeah,
with what's happening in Mexico?
Well, I mean, AI is transforming the way people work. It's been doing it for a while. I mean, it's nothing new, but the generative AI side of things, with the ChatGPT models, the large language models that are being used is to enhance what can be done with the knowledge that's available. That's just going to explode. A lot of people are dipping their feet into the water right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how to go about it. With the company and I'm working on IQNITIA, or motto is increase the intelligence of your business. So increase your business intelligence. So that's what we're doing, and AI is part of that. And in retail in particular, there's a lot of data that you can contextualize and help customers make better decisions. Let's say you're looking for something to wear, and you have not just a chatbot, but a cognitive assistant that understands context. So you can load a picture, say, I'm looking for a shirt like this. And then this assistant can go and look to the inventory and say, well, I have this available, my weight, my size. So it can help you, give you recommendations. So using your natural language, but then you can use big data, analytics. That's artificial intelligence too. I mean, it uses data science to predict and to do other things in your business. So AI is all around. But you need data.
Correct.
You need data to do that. So companies are finding out that they need to work on their data to get the most out of AI, but it's coming really fast. I just saw a Gartner report that said that Gen AI is at the peak of inflated expectations, which means that a lot of people are going to lose a little bit of faith in the next couple of years, but they predict that in 2 to 5 years it's going to be mature enough. So you need to start working on that just to make sure that you get the most out of it when it's mature.
Absolutely. I mean, I always say this. I've been to many workshops. Just in the last couple of weeks, I've met with at least 4 or 5 different retail organizations. I see there is an interest, and there is also a kind of a hesitation, right? It's like, okay, AI must be something which is too difficult to do, and I don't know how to touch waters. But just like Antonio said, if we have the right amount of data, AI could be as simple as, okay, let's clean the data. Right, let's make it more useful more quickly using artificial intelligence. What did you see in the data? Do you see an opportunity for us to introduce a new product, a new variation of a product? Or even further is what we do at Rapid Pricer is, can you use all of this information to dynamically make pricing decisions, right? Let's say if there is going to be, we detect in the data that there's going to be a flu virus happening in your neighborhood. If you can automatically send this message out to those particular localities saying that, hey, in your locality, we've detected there's going to be more and more flu. We suggest you take these vitamins or take this shot. And here's a 20% discount. That's an example of nobody having to do the work. If you have the infrastructure set up, process this data, and then basically make it easier for retailers and consumers to become more efficient.
Yes, I really believe that using data correctly can open up the door to companies to increase margins and sales and have that customers. And examples like that can be done right now. I mean, it's not out of the question that you can actually do that today. You just need to have the right infrastructure, the data flows, and the solutions, like Rapid Pricer, like the pricing solutions. We were talking to a customer yesterday about how to get competitive data integrated into the pricing funnel, and then push it out to the right locations just to do segmented pricing all over. You can do that. I mean, you can do that easily. Just work a little bit on it, but it's not out of the question that those things can be done today.
It can be done. So give us an expectation of the amount of effort and timeline, Antonio. Let's say, for example, we have a retail store with, let's say, 500 stores. Right now, they have point of sale data, and they're running their merchandising with the category management team. Now, we want to go the route of building an AI platform on it, being ready for the future. What exactly is the next step you recommend, and how long does it take from there?
Well, it should not be a large project. I mean, usually the way to start something like that is to understand what the business needs. Because if you start cleaning all the data and then gathering all the data, that can be a large project which can take a long time. Usually, those things then stop adding value really fast because people get desperate. Then they want answers fast. So the way to start this is just framing business problems, seeing what data you require. Let's say for this kind of an example, the competitive data. And then you have pricing. So you need to have the information of SKUs, the costs. Then you need to have the current pricing model that you're running and the competitive data. So maybe you can start with that.
Yeah.
And that should take 4 months, maybe 2 months to get the data ready, 2 months to run algorithms. And then you have that part of the data ready to be used for other use cases. So you start doing this in 3-month, 4-month cycles.
Absolutely.
But you need to make sure that when you do that, you bring new things to the business so that they get tangible results. And then you use that money to invest again and then do it again. So it's a cycle. I wouldn't do like a whole white elephant kind of a project where to bring all the data in and then find out what to do. No, I would do it piece by piece.
And that's why I like working with Antonio. It's like, he always has his vision of the big picture, but start small, make it concrete, make sure you demonstrate success at every step before we take it to the next step. But been a pleasure, Antonio, talking to you.
It's great, Kiran, great. I mean, great to talk to you guys. I hope you find value here, and you should do this again.
Absolutely, and I will leave our contact information both for Antonio and I in this podcast. You will see this wherever you are listening to it or watching it on YouTube. You will have contacts for it. Otherwise, we are available on www.rapidpricer.com. And Antonio?
www.IQNITIA.com.
Thank you very much.